House is set to formalize the impeachment inquiry of President Biden today. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said that the White House forced their hand.
The impeachment inquiry is necessary now because we've come to this impasse where following the facts where they lead is hitting a stone wall because the White House is impeding that investigation now. They're not allowing witnesses to come forward and thousands of pages of documents. So we have no choice. To fulfill our constitutional responsibility, we have to take the next step.
My next guest, South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman, was part of the House Rules Committee markup of the impeachment resolution yesterday, calling out Democrats for being afraid of the inquiry. Watch. Joining me right now is Congressman Ralph Norman, joining us to tell us more. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Can you tell us what went on in the markup last night?
Yeah, Maria, we had an interesting meeting, I guess, over 4 hours, and the Democrats put up a lengthy defense of why not to proceed with the inquiry. And it was unanimous with the Republicans. Look, the president is scared to death and the Democrats are scared to death of what's going to come out. Look at what we already have. And the inquiry, as Speaker Johnson said, is per the Constitution, and we've got the votes, and will not be what the Bidens want this Christmas.
We were just talking about what is the body of evidence that you all are looking at. What would you say is the most damning piece of evidence you have which suggests bribery and money laundering, which are the words that James Comer has used?
Well, follow the money trail. As in most things, follow the money. You know, the Bidens have had over $20 million to come to the family. The check from AmeriCorps for $200,000 went to Jim Biden, Joe's brother, then went directly back to Joe Biden. The pseudonyms of text and emails, the LLCs, these aren't just he said, she said. These are things that you can document. The bank transactions, the suspicious activity reports to Hunter. And it's pretty damaging, to be honest with you. And that's what the Democrats don't want the public to see.
Have you heard any response about any of this from Joe Biden?
We have not. And, you know, for the first time, he's going to have consequences. If he doesn't show up, it'll be a contempt of Congress. And he's scheduled to go in a private meeting at 9:30. You know, Maria, he can't.
You're talking about Hunter Biden, right? Mm-hmm.
Hunter Biden, yeah. Hunter Biden. Now, Joe Biden, we haven't, other than his words on other things with Ukraine, hadn't heard anything about this.
So Hunter Biden will go in what, a private meeting at 9:30 a.m. this morning? What's the schedule?
9:30, supposed to go with James Comer. He said he only wants a public hearing, which is strange because the last time he appeared in public a few years ago, it didn't go too well. So we'll see if he shows up. If he doesn't, he'll be held in contempt of Congress.
And some are claiming that the Republicans left out language in the impeachment resolution that requires the investigation to be transparent. They're pointing out that the Democrats' 2019 resolution was titled Open and Transparent Investigative Proceedings by the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, while the 2023 resolution is titled Investigative Proceedings by the Committee on Oversight and Accountability. I mean, are we playing word games here, or what is the story in terms of the transparency of this?
Well, it's ironic that the Democrats brought this up. I remember going into SCIF when nothing was coming out. They wouldn't let us in. And so they brought that up. But the evidence will come out, and we're not going to have them dictate how we can and can't conduct the hearings. I will tell you what's come out so far, there's a lot more that's coming behind it. And it'll be transparent, and we're not letting them dictate the terms of it. So, Adam Schiff wouldn't let anybody in, so you know we're not listening to them.
Well, Adam Schiff certainly for years told us that Trump colluded with Russia, and you know because he was the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, people believe that he knew something that we didn't. But he didn't. There was no evidence. Now we've got Oversight Committee ranking member Jamie Raskin calling this issue a suspicious omission, and he's saying that it's odd that you all want Hunter Biden behind closed doors as opposed to in front of the public, which is what Hunter Biden has asked.
This is just one of many appearances, I suspect, for Hunter Biden with everything he's got going against him and the evidence that's already been found. And Maria, had it not been for the Republicans taking over in January, we wouldn't have known any of this. This should have been known before the election, and it just was not. Nancy Pelosi wasn't going to have any hearings on it. And I just applaud James Comer, Jim Jordan, and others who are bringing this to light. This is the American people's house, and it's not Joe Biden's to run ramshot over us.
So you just said there's already evidence, and we know that there is a lot with the 176 suspicious activity reports and the bank records and the witness testimony. But you also said that there's more coming. What else is coming?
Well, talking to Barry Loudermilk, he said, it will be a good many more transactions that will directly implicate not just Hunter, but dollars that went to the president. Now, we'll see. And again, this will be brought out as time goes on.
Meanwhile, the president wants you all to vote and agree on sending more money to Ukraine. He met with Ukrainian President Zelensky yesterday. They announced another $200 million aid package. Biden also lectured Republicans about democracy while attacking them for trying stricter border policy to additional Ukraine aid. Watch this.
Compromise is how democracy works. Holding Ukraine funding hostage in an attempt to force through an extreme Republican partisan agenda on the border is not how it works.
So he says it's an extreme agenda, your agenda, not the agenda of letting 10 million people from overseas come into the country. That's not extreme. Your reaction to what you just heard from the president, and are you going to hold the line in terms of not saying yes to any more money until you get policy change at the border? Will the Republicans stick together on this?
Absolutely. And it's interesting, him saying compromise. He's given away our country. It's money we don't have. All we've said is, and Speaker Johnson has backed this up, you're going to have to fix the border. You're going to have metrics in place that control the border and stop the flow of the 8 to 10 million illegals in this country. It's put the country at a national security risk. Ask anybody on Intel that knows about this thing. And so, no, it's just words. He's got to, and plus, Maria, he's going to have offsets. Where's he getting the money? We're not going further in debt, and I think Republicans will stick on this. And it's got to lead off with the border security with metrics in place. And the money, the money that's been given to Ukraine, where's the audit on that? We have no confidence that this administration can really do anything that has any kind of accountability to it.
By the way, do you have evidence that Joe Biden accepted money from Ukraine?
Through Burisma with his son. Now, how the transfer went after Hunter got it, that'll be more come out on that.
Congressman, thank you. We'll be watching all of that. Congressman Ralph Norman, we'll be right back.